Throughout the series, we've been diving into the world of programming, from function, memory, condition, loop, array, to module and class. They are all essential tools to help us communicate with the computer. However, the hardcore is not the syntax, but the problem-solving skills. For each method, we call it an algorithm, a set of instructions and logic that solves a certain question. To get the expected result, there are lots of ways to achieve it, but we need to find the most efficient way. To determine whether a program is good, the first criterion is the time complexity, which means the time it consumes to solve the problem. We wanted the time as low as possible. No one loves slow and clumsy programs. For instance, if we want to find the target word in a long list, we can compare it with each word one by one until we find it. However, a more efficient way is to sort the list by the first letter of each word, like a dictionary. This way, we can find the target word from the corresponding list, which is much shorter. Besides time consumption, space complexity is also important. This tells us how much memory space we need to use. We also want the space usage as low as possible, but sometimes it might be in conflict with the time complexity. For example, our second method is faster, but it takes more space to store the organization logic. Nowadays, computers have a lot of storage, so we usually focus on the time complexity more. One thing to keep in mind is that time and space aren't the only thing to consider. The logic complexity is still very important. We all love simple and universal logic, instead of some tricks that only works for a specific scenario, right? However, it is challenging to achieve the expected result on your first try, so debugging skills are essential. With an unexpected result, one handy way to debug is by using the print function to print out relevant variables. This allows us to keep track of the data and identify any issues. For instance, in the example provided, the counter I remains at 0 infinitely. Oh, the increase function is missing, silly me. Next, let's talk about how to proceed your programming journey. It's true that there are lots of useful algorithms to learn, like search algorithms or sort algorithms. But they are just methods proposed by predecessors to solve their problems. The most important thing is always the problem itself. For you, remember at first why you choose to learn programming. You want to make a game to share with your best friend, build your dream website and shock everyone. Or just build a useful automation software to help you get football tickets because your hand speed is so slow. Well, don't hesitate, start your project now. It's true that you might need to learn some basics of programming language syntax and software like game engine to help you build your project. But don't keep watching tutorials after tutorials. The easiest 20% of knowledge is actually used in 80% of cases. From the knowledge you learn in this series, it's actually pretty enough. So after mastering the essentials of your tools, start your project right away, and you can still search and learn what you need throughout your developing process. Next, I also want to share with you an efficient way to learn new concept when you need it. It's called the why, how, what method. We start by asking ourselves, why a certain data structure or algorithm exists? What problem does it solve? What are the challenges it addresses? Then, we'll break down how it works using simple and intuitive explanations, charts, or workflow diagrams. And finally, we look at the syntax of the code. But here's the thing, why and how are the most important thing. Syntax is just a way to communicate with the computer. It's just a tool, not a goal. For the tools or programming language to choose, there are lots of good videos to watch, so I won't spend time on this. If you still have questions, please comment below and I will try my best to help you. So this is the end of Essence of Programming series. I'm so glad you've been following along. Also, if you're interested, you can check out the text version of the series on my official website, link in description. I update the image for better explanations and fix several mistakes that I made in the videos. Additionally, this series is aiming to help as many people as possible for free. If you found this tutorial helpful, please share them with your friends who might also benefit from them. Lastly, this is my first time trying to do such a tutorial series. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the videos. If you have any suggestions or feedback, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below each video. I'm always looking for ways to improve and make the videos even better. Thanks again for watching. Goodbye.